Bonafide Hustler here, and today I'm just going to show you what I bought yesterday in 2 hours at garage sales. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the inside of my garage, processing things right now because I want to get these things tagged up where they belong, and I figured I should probably make a video about this stuff. So I went garage selling yesterday, and combined total of about probably 2 hours at garage sales or in the thrift territory, and found some cool things I want to show you guys. All right, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Bonafide Hustler, and also get the free money making guide right here. It teaches you 50 items that you can find at thrift stores and garage sales that you can resell for cash. So check it out. It is a pretty cool guide, free. First link down below. Okay, so I didn't find a ton of things yesterday in 2 hours going to garage sales, but I'll show you what I did find. All right, at one garage sale, found this right here. These are two Coleman lanterns, and they're pretty nice because they're the double mantle style. So if we take a look at these a little bit closer, we have to be very careful with them because the globe, which is this glass piece right here, is intact on both. And that's usually the first thing to break on these. So oftentimes when you find them at garage sales, you're gonna not find this piece typically, but the globe is intact on both, so that is a really good sign. Now we're dealing with ones that are painted here, but not painted down here on the body. And so the ones that actually have, a yellow or a red top with a yellow or a red, or even a green bottom are worth more money. But regardless, this is still the double mantle style. You can see the two shredded up mantles right there. And the globe is in good condition. It probably would work to a lantern enthusiast. And oftentimes when you look at lanterns and you try to figure out their model numbers, it'll be on the side somewhere. But if not, you can kind of go under it and you can check out. And sometimes the model number is there. Yeah, there's a B right there and a 48. So this is a B48 lantern. There's also another number somewhere on here that starts with like 22 something. But you look up B48s and you start to realize that both these lanterns are probably in the vicinity of around 80 to 100 in resale. So we're gonna be putting these in the booth. We're $5 into each. And in the booth, I'll be asking around maybe 70 to 80 bucks. Lanterns like this, if you're asking why did I not want to put this on eBay, it's because they're just not in the greatest condition, right? As we see right here, there's just a lot going on. And plus, you really have to double box and almost triple box a lot of things when you sell lanterns. I just sold a lantern the other day that I was $13 into, and I sold it for 200 bucks, but it was in such good condition, but I had to almost triple box the globe and all this kind of stuff. And it just gets kind of crazy. I think the shipping was like 22 bucks on that thing. So, you start thinking about those kind of things when you're dealing with eBay. And if you have an option like an antique booth, this automatically puts that shipping cost into my hands. And now, it would be somewhere high in my booth, not somewhere low where a kid could pick it up and like trash it. So I do feel that that's the final place for these things. Pretty interesting find. I love finding lanterns, especially Coleman lanterns. That one that I sold on eBay was actually a Sears lantern, but it was technically Coleman. But yeah, a really awesome Coleman Sears lantern that I found at a Goodwill for 12 or 13 bucks. And sold it for 200 bucks, which was cool. I was asking like 300 to 400 bucks at one point. Someone just offered me 200. I took it. But yeah, lanterns are good sellers, right? But lanterns in that condition down there, they belong somewhere else. And I happen to have an antique booth, and that's where they're gonna go. Next find is free. Does not work, but maybe you can fix it. Yeah, so that's this right here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, honestly. It's free, it's a large format Canon printer. I'll look it up. There's the ink that came with it, but I'm not in the business of diagnosing printers. But it's interesting that it's free. That's all that matters. Large format printers are definitely something to look out for. I'm just not in the business of troubleshooting them. A lot of times you have to like clean print heads, add ink. There's driver updates or software, this and that. It's just one of those items that I don't like to resell on eBay. So a printer, for example, yes, they sell well on eBay, but man, the dimensions and the boxes you have to find to ship those things off and the amount of padding you have to put, all with the whole, the hopes that that thing's gonna make it to the other side like undamaged. It's kind of crazy for me. So I reserve those kind of shipments for printers that are gonna sell between like $400 and $1,000. This is not one of those kind of printers. But it's not a bad printer, and we'll see what happens with this later. I'm not sure if I'm just gonna list it as is for like 50 bucks or something like that. Its resale is probably between 80 and 100. It's not that much. All right, some interesting things that I found alongside the Coleman lanterns. We have some hats, some vintage hats. This is a barbecue place that's close to Austin, but we got some cool pins on this. And on top of that, we have the little Centennial hat right there. So it's a pretty old kind of hat. We have all kinds of cool little pins, but this right here in my booth, probably 20 to 30 bucks. I'm like $1. Actually, I'm not even $1 into each one of these. She threw these in. So 10 bucks for the lanterns, and she threw in some hats. That's one hat. Here's a vintage Hawaii hat. This one's really pretty, right? Trucker style. Got a little smudgy, but it's all good. And we have some fairy dust in the back. All good. Looking pretty solid. I'll take it. That's about 20 to 30 bucks in the booth right there. We have one that's just says, I own an executive van. So maybe executive was kind of like the Regency of vans back in the day. Maybe they actually souped up vans. I'm not sure. But this is kind of cool. I own an executive van. Has a little kind of sailorish, I have a boat, little rope right there. 20 bucks right there. I wouldn't say 20 to 30 on that one, but I wouldn't say 30 on this one, but probably 20 on this one. And then the one that I like the most is this kind of retro, retro, maybe vintage Florida. And more than likely you got this at a beach town. But yeah, little retro Florida hat. Really cool looking, very fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 90s. This is probably closer to like 30 to 40 on resale. Also at a garage sale, we have this $1 beard kit. Everything's in there, hasn't been used. So, hey, I got a beard and, give me a kit for $1, because usually these kind of things are on Amazon for like, 12 to 15 bucks, save some money, condition my beard. Everything's all good. All you guys out there and gals, if you have beards, cool. Beard kits for $1. I'm all about it. Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. All right, the last find is actually not this lock, but this lock did come with a bike that I found at a Goodwill. So technically not at a garage sale, but I went to a Goodwill that was in between garage sales, right? This bike I bought for 140 bucks. I think it's worth around $300 to $400. It is a Trek, what is this thing called? Something Verve 2 or something like that. It's a women's hybrid with a low step-through kind of frame. Incredible condition, like hardly used. So decided to pull the trigger on that. But this lock was actually on a bike with another bike. And I was like, does that lock come with it? And the lady's like, no, that's our lock. And I was like, oh man, I really want this bike and I really need a lock, which was kind of not true about the lock part. Like I have so many locks here, but this is a Kryptonite Evolution Series 4. This lock is 100 bucks on Amazon. It's one of the best U-locks you can ever put on your bike to protect your stuff. So when you see that orange kind of Kryptonite part, that screams pretty good locks, basically. So the Evolution series, there's like the New York Forget About It series, like all those are like usually the orange type locks, and they are built so tough, but you also pay up big money to get them. So in lock world, $100 to $300 is considered a lot of money, but if you're protecting a bike that's like $1,000 or more, it makes sense. So this lock right here was thrown into the deal for that $140 bike. And this I'm gonna keep right here. We have all the keys to it. And it's a really important kind of lock to have, especially if you're a cyclist kind of person. But like I said, I bought that bike at a Goodwill during garage sales. And so it's not technically garage sales, but I found it. There's also one more thing that is not here, but my girlfriend bought a Lululemon women's jacket that ended up looking really baggy and like kind of MC Hammerish, It was a size 10 and my girlfriend's not a size 10, so maybe that's why it's baggy. I'm not 100% sure, but that thing was, I think, $1 at a garage sale. She found it in a pile of clothes, and she'll probably end up listing it for like 30 to 50 bucks. But it's a Lululemon jacket. Lululemon is basically loungewear / athletic wear. Really popular stuff. But hey, the reason I'm making this video is because I want to get this stuff to the booth, especially the lanterns and the cool hats. And I appreciate your time here. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler video. Take it easy. Goodbye.